Busan Mass Transit Citizens Fund Foundation delivered to the city government 3,000 transportation cards worth about 300 million won to be used for youths at risk within the jurisdiction. The transportation cards, each charged with 100,000 won, will be given to about 3,000 people, including high school seniors eligible for basic living and out-of-school adolescents.
남구 남천동 일대 빵집 골목 이야기가 드라마로 제작됩니다. 부산영상위원회 드라마 제작 지원 사업 선정작 중 하나인 슈가 블루스는 남천동의 일명 빵천동 골목 상권에 대한 이야기를 다룹니다.
The story of a bakery alley in Namcheongdong of Namgu District will be produced into a TV drama. Sugar Blues, one of the selected works of the Busan Film Commission's drama production support projects, will tell the story of the so-called Bangcheondong Alley business district in Namcheongdong.
에어부산은 내일부터 5월 31일까지 국제선 항공권 할인 프로모션을 시행합니다. 부산과 인천발 국제선 16개 노선으로 최대 90%까지 할인하며 탑승 기간은 5월 24일부터 8월 31일까지입니다.
Starting tomorrow, Air Busan will conduct a discount promotion for international flights until the 31st of this month. The promotion offers discounts of up to 90% on 16 international routes departing from Busan and Incheon. The travel period for this promotion is from May 24th to August 31st.
날씨입니다. 부산지방 오늘 저녁 한때 소나기 내리는 곳이 있겠습니다. 내일 아침 기온 15도, 낮 기온 22도로 예상됩니다. 부산의 현재 기온 21도입니다.
Scattered showers are forecast in parts of Busan tonight. Expect a morning low of 15 degrees Celsius tomorrow, with afternoon highs of 22 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are currently averaging at 21 degrees Celsius. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. I'm Christine Oh.
홍정화였습니다.
Thank you for joining. You're listening to BFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Laura McLucky and Minsu Shin. BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello. Did you sleep well last night?
No.
Oh, and if the answer is no, it may be costing your company and your country quite a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, according to the BBC, South Korea is one of the most sleep-deprived nations in the world because we're overworked and we're overstressed.
Yeah, look at my dark circles. I 100% am a good example of that. But according to the survey, Koreans accumulate an average of 5 hours and 13 minutes of sleep debt per week. So that means basically we don't get enough sleep.
Yeah. You know, sleep's really important. I personally value it as much as waking up and having like a full day, right? A full night's rest is very important. So, folks, never waste any time when you can sleep more. But not right now. You have a show to listen to. Don't go to sleep yet.
주무시면 안 돼요.
네, 안 됩니다.
is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. Yeah. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Everybody just have a good time. Party rock is in the house tonight. Oh. Everybody just have a good time. I can feel it. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Yeah. We just wanna see you shake that.
Club, party rock, looking for your girl, she on my jock, Now stop when we in the spot, booty moving weight like she on the block. With a drink, I got to know, tight jeans tattoo, cause I'm rock, half black, half white diamond now, gang of money, open up.
Yo, I'm running through these halls like Drano, I got that devilish flow, rock and roll, no halo, we party rock. Yeah, that's the food that I'm prepping on the rise to the top, no letting our Zeppelin. Yeah. Party rock! Party rock is in the house tonight. Yeah. Everybody just have a good time. Yeah. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Woo. Everybody just have a good time. Clap. Party rock is in the house tonight. Oh. Everybody just have a good time. I can feel it. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Yeah. We just wanna see you shake that.
taking you to the club.
벌써 정신없. 벌써 머리 아파. 방송 이제 시작했는데 벌써 머리 아파.
Yeah. Meme and Sunim texting in on the YouTube. Every day I'm shuffling. I did not see you shuffling one bit.
In
Minsu.
my heart, I was shuffling.
You were doing no such thing.
I have super poor like hand-eye feet coordination, right? So don't you dare ask me to do any shuffling or
why is it
dancing.
hand-eye feet coordination? What is the what does
Like what
that
do you do
mean?
with your hands when you're shuffling? 이런 거 해야 되잖아. Can't do it.
You do
Won't do
whatever
it.
you want to do, man.
Right? 우리 오겹살 좋아님 very much enjoying our first track, right?
신나.
네, 신나 indeed. What was that song?
Party rockers in the house tonight.
It was such a hit.
LFMAO.
Yes, LAFMAO.
LAFMAO?
Is it what?
LFMAO.
LMFAMO?
LMFAO.
LMFAO.
Do you know what it means? It's an acronym for something that I can't say on the radio.
Laughing, right? That's what
Yeah. Laughing.
I think I can make out the rest.
Laughing, blah, 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 off.
Use your imagination.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hiya, welcome to the show. It is Inside Out Busan. It's Tuesday, the 23rd of May. Welcome. My name is Laura McCluckey.
And my name is Minsu Shin. Happy Tuesday, everybody. How was your day, Laura? Where?
I missed you since yesterday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. My Tuesday was really good, really busy, and there's still a lot of work to do. I've got, I've got a presentation and an assignment to do at school tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm going to chat GPT it, see what happens.
다 말해.
Oops.
Ask me what I did.
What did you do?
I 완전 오랜만에 took a big fat nap in between my class and the show. I had a couple hours to spare.
And you napped?
And I napped.
Bet you feel good, though.
It was quite nice. 완전 오랜만에 낮잠 잤어요. Yeah. And it's because like these days, we mentioned in the opening, South Korea just, as a whole, we're very much sleep deprived,
Yes.
right? It's really hard to good sleep is hard to come by these days, especially with the weather getting warmer.
Especially for you.
네.
Yeah.
So here in Korea, there are individuals who experience difficulty sleeping more than 3 days out of the week, right? That's not good. You'll say all 3? That means they get what? Like
4 days of good sleep?
2,
No.
3, 4 days of good sleep, right? You should get good sleep every day, right? Additionally, compared to other countries, Koreans report they feel more tired, actually twice more tired in the mornings than in the afternoons, which makes sense. But like you could be a little tired, but if you're like double the times you're tired, especially in the mornings, that's not like the best start to your day, I think.
That was me this morning. So tired.
You don't look it right now.
Do you know what happens? It's because I slept literally Monday. I slept a lot because I was really exhausted. But do you know what happens though? There's this sleep inertia. Have you heard of that?
Sleep inertia? I know inertia has to do with like body movement or something.
Well, sleep inertia is when you get your alarm and then you press snooze, and then when you have another 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, and you wake up and you're even more tired. It's because your body, when you wake up at the beginning, that's when you should get up. That's when your body has wakened up. And then so if you go back to sleep, your body starts the cycle of sleeping again, and then you wake yourself up halfway through the cycle. So then it messes you up.
That's me every day.
Yeah. So
Right.
don't touch the snooze. Turn the snooze off.
Every day I'm snoozing. Every day I'm snoozing. Yeah. But I mean, you know, a lot of like companies, a lot of businesses have been trying to capitalize on the fact that Korea is very much sleep deprived, right?
Well, sleep deprivation is a huge thing. Insomnia treatments are very, very lucrative. And, you know, the sleep-related market in Korea alone has already reached around 3 trillion won per year.
Wowza.
It's also called, like, sleep tech, sleep and technology. So most people might already have a wearable watch that has a tracker to track your sleep, to monitor the quality and the quantity of it, etc.
Yeah, add to that, right? Various sleep-related products like pillows, mattresses, pajamas,
좋다.
right? All these innovations keep popping up here and there to enhance sleep for people. There's actually right now an ongoing development of snoring prevention apps as well as other sleep gadgets to improve people's sleeping.
You know how I stop my husband from snoring?
How?
Punch him.
The whack, right?
No, I just hit him with a little pillow very softly. 자기야, 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 like this. But the minute everyone's getting anxious, you know, it's you got to say you've got to eat, you've got to sleep. Those are the two. Oh, you've got to breathe. But those are the two vital elements. Especially sleep is so important.
Yeah. As Dr. Liu says every Tuesday, 잘 먹고, 잘 자고, 잘 싸고, right? So if you can't do one of the three, like essential things that you're supposed to do, it's probably not going to be the best for you, right? So folks, do what you can to try to get good sleep.
Do what you gotta do.
Quality sleep.
Yeah.
중요합니다.
All right, let's get on with it. It's time for News Bites. Yes, it's time for News Bites. Christine's in the studio. Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Christine. How are we doing today?
Hello.
Studio. I'm doing well.
Yeah. The art is back, by the way, listeners.
The art is back.
Yes.
Today
art.
we have some art.
Look
Yeah.
at your
I feel embarrassed calling this art though.
No,
is art.
it's very relevant to
I've
today's
got a
show.
cat sleeping and dreaming of a fish.
Yeah, because we're talking about sleeping. Christine right away gets to her Picassoing
Every
right?
day I'm shuffling.
and draws people sleeping. Sleep, very important. So according to Christine
Very,
as
very
well.
important.
All right, Christine, let's get to today's news bites. What do you got for us?
We're starting off with Nuriho. So South Korea is going to be launching its first homegrown space rocket Nuri tomorrow. This is the third launch, and this time this rocket will be attempting to carry 8 application satellites into orbit for the first time.
Very exciting, right? So let's get into details about how preparations are going.
Yeah, so according to the Science Ministry, the 3-stage launch vehicle left the assembly building early this morning at 7:20 a.m. from the Naro Space Center in Kohung, and it moved very slowly for 1.8 kilometers, arriving about an hour and a half later. Of course, the rocket is enormous, and it has since been erected on the pad where the final preparatory stage started with inspections of things like the hydraulic and pneumatic pressure systems, as well as the electricity within the fuselage. Now, the ministry said that the installation at the pad is expected to be completed by 7 p.m. this evening, so coming very soon. And as long as there are no abnormalities that they find in the process of it.
Nice. So what do we know about the launch to take place tomorrow?
So it's actually scheduled tomorrow evening at 6:24 p.m. So we might
right
be
around
able
this
to
time.
catch it. Yeah, that's right. And the committee in charge of the finalized time is actually meeting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll know more, at least by the time when the exact time will be. And the decision is made, of course, based on weather conditions, but also if there are any other things in the air at the time that could possibly collide. Now, Nuri only previously carried dummy satellites, so this is a huge new step towards its final goal. Now, the payload this time will include something called a remote sensing satellite that's developed by the Satellite Technology Research Center at KAIST, and also the Korea Astronomy and Space Science Institute's Space Weather Observation Satellite.
Yeah, so this is very exciting. The launch happening tomorrow.
Can we watch it live?
I think we can. There's probably going to be like a bunch of streaming on the internet, so you could watch it.
Yeah, you can give our listeners some updates on what's happening.
Yeah. And we're getting, like very like closer and closer to actually, sending people out to space, like from Korea. So it's very exciting because I got a list, I tell you, of people that I want to send up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Of people?
Yes.
Who are these people?
Well,
Okay.
I'll let you know later on, right? Once this technology is available.
Yes.
Anyways, what's next?
Let's talk about drug tests at the military. So South Korea is considering requiring soon-to-be conscripts to take drug tests in the process.
Okay, this is a change. Why have they decided to require drug tests?
Yeah, so the Defense Ministry talked about this move today as part of its anti-drug measures. There's been a sharp rise in drug cases to 30 cases last year from just 9 in 2020. And early this month, they also launched a task force against drug use because of a series of drug crime cases around the country, one of which was Army officials discovering marijuana in the living quarters of a border unit last month.
So tell us a bit more about these tests.
The ministry is looking to expand the drug tests to those who are undergoing the pre-enlistment physical exams. It's called 입영 신체 검사. But it noted that the testing would require a legal revision because of concerns of potential human rights violations. Right now, you are only required to take a drug test during the physical exam if the medical officer deems it necessary or if the people who are enlisting disclose their past experience with drugs.
Okay. What about any other measures that they're considering?
Also, the ministry says that it will be conducting drug tests to all cadets and non-commissioned officer candidates. So those are 간부 and 하사관, as well as those applying for long-term military service from as early as the second half of this year, so coming very soon. The ministry also plans to strengthen the screening of delivery packages to military bases to make sure that drugs aren't coming in, because right now they're only checking for hazardous substances with consent from service members. Other measures include things like education programs against drug use and strict punishment for those who offer or deliver drugs to other service members.
Yeah, cracking down.
Isn't it crazy just how quickly our society has changed here in Korea? Now, drug abuse is very much like a huge concern, huge issue these days, and that's why, they're changing laws. So, yeah, keep us updated with that. What's next?
A brief update on how Team Korea did. South Korea defeated France 2-1.
Woohoo!
In the opening match of the FIFA U20 World Cup in Argentina.
Woohoo!
South Korea beats France in the FIFA World Cup.
Yes, that's right.
I took out the U20,
FIFA.
but
U20
FIFA
World
U20
Cup.
World Cup.
So actually, they were led by Coach Kim Eun-jung, and they were able to carry away with 3 points in the Group F match in Mendoza. Now, Captain Lee Seung-won was the one who scored the opener, and we also saw Lee Young-jun add another. And this is the first time in 6 years that South Korea won their first game in the U20 World Cup group stage since 2017.
대한민국
Jack, right? A good start to our under 20 team. Hopefully more of these wins to come, right?
Yes.
As the tournament continues. Let's get to our final bit of news.
Let's talk about El Nino. So South Korea is expected to see higher temperatures and more rain than usual this summer. The Korea Meteorological Administration said during a briefing today that temperatures from next month until August are 40% likely to be higher than usual or similar to the average. And also, this was based on climate forecast models provided from 10 different weather agencies.
So they all say the same thing, right?
Yeah, okay. Tell us more about this. I don't even want to know. The rain forecast.
Yeah, so during the summer, a possible El Nino could bring more rain to the peninsula than usual. Precipitation tends to increase mainly in the southern region of the Korean peninsula when this happens. That means us.
That's us, yes.
In July, there is a high possibility of heavy rain with a 40% chance that precipitation will be higher than or similar to the average year.
Yeah.
And the probability of rainfall in June and August is similar to the average year, is 50%, and 30% probability that it's higher than the usual forecast. So
Yeah.
the same amount or more,
The
probably.
same or more.
It's crazy because I've seen a bunch of articles saying here in Korea it's going to rain for 27 days out of the month in July.
Oh, wow.
So
All
it's going to
day,
be
every
nuts.
day.
Yeah.
Well, at least the ducks in the trees will be happy.
I guess. But then, too much rain, that's not going to be good news for other land ecosystems, environments.
Yes,
You know what I
indeed.
mean?
Yeah, it all messes it up. Tell us a bit more about El Nino.
Yeah, so this is a natural phenomenon where the sea level temperatures in the eastern and central Pacific go up a little bit, 0.5 degrees Celsius higher than usual for more than 5 months. When this happens, there is high pressure, which is usually formed by the Western Pacific Ocean right next to Korea. It moves east and affects the placement of air pressure near the Korean peninsula and, of course, the weather here as well. Now, the World Meteorological Organization, it predicted a 60% probability of an El Nino happening this summer. This would be the first El Nino in about 4 years and the first one for the summer since 2016 when we had a really hot summer, if you remember.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, the Korean State Weather Agency dismissed concerns of a super El Nino and subsequent typhoons, saying that that's probably not going to happen.
I guess that's one thing. What's one bit of good news we could take, right? But I don't know about you. I'll be investing in a good pair of rain boots and maybe a poncho.
A poncho. That's a
Shorts
great
and flip-flops for me.
All right, Christine, thank you so much. That will wrap it up for today's News Bites. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Christine.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's have a song. This is Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree by Tony Orlando and Dawn.
I'm coming home, I've done my time. Now I've got to know what is and isn't mine. If you receive my letter telling you I'd soon be free, then you'll know just what to do if you still want me. If you still want me. Oh, tie a yellow ribbon around the old tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still want me? If I don't see a ribbon around the old tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me. If I don't see a yellow ribbon around the old tree. Bus driver, please look for me, 'cause I couldn't bear to see what I might see. I'm really still in prison and my love, she holds the key. A simple yellow ribbon's what I need to set me free. I wrote and told her, please, oh, tie a yellow ribbon round the old tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still want me? If I don't see a ribbon around the old tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me. If I don't see a yellow ribbon around the old tree. Now the whole damn bus is cheering, and I can't believe I see 100 yellow ribbons around the old tree. I'm coming home.
Tie a ribbon round the old oak tree. Why would you do it? Is there a reason?
Why would you tie a ribbon?
What's the reasoning behind this song?
Maybe because you don't want to get lost.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the
Don't people do that?
old tree.
Wait, what was that? What kind of big 코드슨 was that?
This.
I don't know. People tie stuff on trees so like they know if they made just a big circle around. Oh, I've been here before.
I've been here before.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, let's ask Haley because she seems to know why people tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree.
You guys, don't you ever listen
Listen to what? The
to
lyrics?
the song?
Oh,
and
you
not
never
dance?
listen.
It's because he's been around, I'm assuming in jail, but people used to do that for veterans too. If veterans left for a long time, their loved ones would tie a ribbon around the old oak tree to let them know, I'm still waiting for you. I'm here. I'm devoted. I have stayed committed. Hello.
That's nice.
What makes you think he's been in jail?
Well, I think he's done his time. It's in the
He's done
lyrics.
his
He's
time.
done
Maybe
his
that's
time.
just in the army.
Maybe.
Maybe that's in the military.
I always like to look for the worst in people.
Assume much,
that.
Haley?
Yeah,
Assume
you know what that makes me into?
Yeah.
Well, it makes an A
An assumer.
double S
Assumer.
U
Out
N
of you
E
and me.
R.
Why are we all spelling words today?
Let's get on with it, shall we?
Now we know, right? Now we know. Thank you very
It's
much.
6:34 on the clock. We're way past time. Welcome to Inside Out Busan, Tuesday, the 23rd of May. I'm Laura McClucky.
And I'm In Soo Shin. Let's see what the weather is looking like.
Currently 20 degrees Celsius on average here in Busan. Morning lows of 15, afternoon highs of 22. Clean air will be back in Busan tomorrow. Some extreme UV rays will be in the sky. Meanwhile, conditions in Goheung, Jeollanam-do, where South Korea's first homegrown space rocket Nuri will take off tomorrow evening, is forecast to have very promising weather.
Oh, yeah.
So
Weather is
that's
very
good.
important for a rocket takeoff.
내일은 햇빛 때문에 자외선이 강하겠습니다. 그리고 내일은 누리호 3차 발사가 있는 날이죠. 우리 생방송할 때 바로 라이브 스트리밍을 볼 수 있겠어요. 그래서 내일 나로 우주선센터 날씨도 좋다고 하네요. We can watch it here.
Yeah. We'll
And
be
luckily, it's not going to be windy or rainy.
space rocket casters for a couple of minutes.
It's good. Do you know what? I've been on air for so many momentous moments in world history.
Oh, like what?
Like when the North and South met.
Oh.
Yeah, when they shook hands, when they crossed the border.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Where were you? Like, you mean here?
in the studio,
Oh.
watching
okay.
it live and
Oh,
talking
at like
to it.
exactly and at that time. Oh.
And other things. Come on, let's do the traffic.
Congestion on Kayadero from Samyeon Lotte Department Store towards Samyeon Junction. Also congestion on Mandokdero from Mandok Junction going towards Mandok Tunnel number 2. Slow-moving traffic on Jungangdero from Yeongju Junction going towards Choryang Junction. Everybody.
Drive safe.
네.
It's time for Haley. It's not really. It's time for IOB's Open
Liar,
I'm just
liar,
wondering why
pants
Haley's in
on
the studio
fire.
so early. That's why it's throwing me off. She's here like 25 minutes early for a sec, just hanging out.
Let's just blame it on Haley.
Yeah, it's Haley's fault. Getting you in the know with some of the most trending, useful, need-to-know words and expressions in the world. 5분만 들으시면 유식해지는 시간이죠.
네, 오늘은요. 노 퀴즈 존에 이은 노 신여 존 논란에 대해 알아보도록
What?
하겠습니다.
Oh, yo, take it. Grandpa's got rhymes that'll make you go crazy.
Excuse me, 어르신, we have a senior zone policy here, and a loud rap isn't quite the vibe that we're going for.
Hey, talking about a senior zone. Was this a special seat for a senior? Listen, I'm busy practicing my rap now. Brap, 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 brap. 백발 소년단 auditions are coming. Not 방탄소년단. 백발 소년단.
어르신, please, sir, you need to keep it down. We don't want you to disturb the customers. Oh, 완전 침 뱉고 난리네. As you know, customers age 60 and older do often find themselves asked to leave cafes these days.
What?
So...
What are you talking about? No way, that is stark age discrimination, Missy. 차별이야, 차별. Listen, I'm just practicing my rap. This is what my grandson does. 나 꼭 백발소년단에 들어갈 거야.
그거는 알겠고요. 그런데 어르신, if you keep making noise, we have no choice but to push the senior zone policy
뭐?
for you starting today. Could you maybe show me your ID, please?
에?
Oh, 잠깐만, wait a minute. You're only 59 years old? I thought you were way past 60.
브라 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 108소년단 들어가려고 염색했지요. This cafe's got a senior zone, but they can't hold back my flow. I'm just no one, no one.
어이구 어르신 얼마나 힘든 삶을 살았길래 네 목소리부터 완전 완전 저 할아버지인데 You're only 59.
No one, no one.
네, 아이고 힘들다. All right, so no senior zone. This has become quite an issue. Why do some cafes have this policy?
Okay, so a no senior zone or no entry for people over 60 years old at cafes implies that senior citizens are not permitted to enter or to occupy that particular area. So, for instance, 5 elderly people over the age of 60 initially may have ordered only 2 cups of Americano, and then they later request 3 additional cups and share 2 Americanos between 5 people. Also, they talk like this. They talk loudly, and they occupy a lot of space for an extended period of time. So, as a result, this policy began.
I mean, if your version of that grandpa came into my cafe, I would have I would have enforced the no senior zone, right? But some cafes and coffee shops, their decision for the no senior zone implementation to ban elderly customers, this has sparked a renewed criticism amid ongoing controversy over no kids zones, which we talked about before, right? So why does this ban continue to be controversial?
We already have no study zones, no repo zone. We've got no 아재돈 zone, no tuber zone. So there's no senior zones. Like we don't have that yet. So critics argue that these policies really perpetuate stereotypes, and banning entry for people of certain age groups, in some restaurants or commercial venues, is prohibiting the entry of these people based on the owner's preferences. But this continuous emergence of no-something zones in society means that exclusion is increasing among groups.
Yeah.
So efforts to understand and be tolerant and be 배려 of each other are, disappearing.
맞아요. Eventually, we're just all gonna be drinking coffee at home. I feel like
as long as I can hang out in that 할아버지 rapper zone, I'm in.
그거는 제발 집에 있어 주세요. 네, 어르신 제발 집에 있어 주세요. 그거는 좀 집에 있어야 될 것 같아요.
재밌을 거예요.
우리 토끼님 생 목소리가 진짜 노안. 이거 round of applause. And the Academy Award goes to
me.
You. Alright, 오늘의 5분 상식 No Senior Zone, No Senior Zone은요 60세 이상 어르신들은 입장할 수 없는 곳을 의미하며 차별과 세대 갈등 우려가 있어 최근 No Something Zone 논란이 이어지고 있다고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 괴종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 온 신참인 것 같네.
22번 홀림병!
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요.
Issue unboxing.
Yes, it is time for issue unboxing. Haley's in the studio. Hi, Haley.
Oh, hi.
Our in-house band / Wikipedia, Haley with us, right?
Haleypedia is in the house.
How you doing today, Haley?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out here.
Good
I've
to
been here the
hear.
entire hour.
You've been here
Didn't you
since
notice?
the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm bored. I'm
Yeah.
going in.
Just yeah.
You were here before the show even started, I
I
think.
was.
Right?
I was
아,
indeed.
제발 집에 좀 가세요.
아, 싫어요.
Well, I mean, after the show.
여기가
of
제
course, right?
집이에요.
Don't discriminate.
Yeah,
맞아요.
no Haley zone
No
하나
Haley
만들어야겠다.
zone. Oh,
no Haley
no.
zone 하나 만들어야겠다. Right? All right, Haley, issue unboxing. What will we be unboxing today?
We will be unboxing your MBTI's, blood types, zodiac signs, Chinese zodiac signs, your Saju, whatever
That's a
have
lot.
we got here. Yeah. I'm excited. Are we just no?
Can you see my face on this already?
She's giving me the death stare. She's gonna drop the mic and leave. It's gonna be
아니
no
왜냐면
Laura
근데
zone.
한국에는 이게 사실 너무 재밌어요. 저는
재밌어.
믿지 않는데 너무 재밌어요. I think.
맞죠.
재밌지.
꿀잼이에요. It's so much fun. All right, first, I mean, back in my day, I was all about zodiac signs.
Yeah.
And then, in Korea,
Horoscopes, right?
Horoscopes, right?
What is
Way
it
back
called?
when. Way back when there was the blood type, and then now MBTIs are all the rage. And we love categorizing ourselves, our friends, our enemies into a type
Yep.
and talking about our personality traits.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
I mean, when I first came to Korea, when I came back to Korea, and like people that I would meet would ask for my blood type. I was like,
Yeah.
are they trying to make note if I could like be like a donor for
Yeah,
them or something?
can you transfuse some blood?
What's
well,
this
what is your
reasoning?
blood type?
I am a B.
Oh.
Yeah. And when I tell people I'm a B, they're like,
This is the reaction. Oh.
Yeah.
진짜?
wait, that's is like, I knew it. I was like, I was like, no way.
I'm not telling.
Because I often get, you're not a B. I was like, how dare you try to change my blood type?
Pigeonhole me.
What are you, Laura?
What do you
blood
think?
type? Are you AB?
Yeah.
Oh.
Genius cycle. That's me.
Yeah.
That's,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know
It does
about
make sense.
the first half of that, but
That's why
Well,
you're a
watch
B.
the second half come out, ready?
all right. So, sometimes they're spot on. Sometimes they're a little bit. Yeah. So,
I wonder if our listeners can guess mine.
yes, listeners, chime in. Send us messages on our YouTube, Kakao Talk, whatever. Text
And
message.
send us your blood
Haley
types,
has
MBTIs.
labels for her labels.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's a whole another issue. Well, so these are fun. These are so fun, but some people do take it far. I have read about articles that talk about, MBTIs being one of the requirements for a job interview category. So it was
Yeah.
they were looking for an outgoing person. So they were like, ENTPs or ENFPs preferred. I was like, really? As an ESTJ, I take offense to that.
see, this is the thing. Do you know that the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs, was not invented by any kind of psychologist, psychiatrist, anything. It was one woman and her daughter who just looked at the teachings of Carl Jung and other
Psychoanalysts.
yeah,
And they made it up.
They made it up.
All right, Native Nancy. We're gonna get to you later. But so she is
They made it up.
obviously eye rolling so hard. I think my eyeballs are lodged now. She's obviously a non-believer. She's a skeptic, but there are plenty of believers. So much so that there is even a TED Talk about it. So I'm gonna let experts.
You know it's official.
Yeah,
if
you know
there's
it's
a TED Talk.
official. So I'm gonna let the experts speak about it.
By revealing your zodiac sign, you're also being evaluated. Judgments are being made about your fortune or misfortune, your personality, career prospects, and how you will do in a given year. If you share you and your partner's animal signs, they will paint a picture in their mind about your private life. Our Chinese ancestors constructed a very complicated theoretical framework based on yin and yang, the 5 elements, and the 12 zodiac animals. Over the thousands of years, this popular culture has affected people's major decisions, such as naming, marriage, giving birth, and attitude toward each other. And some of the implications are quite amazing. Chinese believe certain animals get on well than the others. So parents, they choose specific years to give birth to the babies.
They do. I actually do have friends. So we're talking about the Chinese or Asian zodiac signs, the Di, the animals. Yeah, and I have a friend who's waiting, I think, until next year to family plan because next year, I think, is the year of the dragon, and she wants a Yongti baby. And I think a couple years back, when it was the year of the golden pig, which was a sign of prosperity, there was kind of an uptick in birth rates because you want your kids to be wealthy. You want your kids to be the golden pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. And that was Xiao Lan, who is a Taiwanese zodiac specialist. And many people have dedicated their entire careers to these signs and personality types.
Yeah.
And, there's always something about the universe that we don't know. That's something science cannot explain or
Sure.
science has yet to explain. So it would be very prideful, to say the least, to think that you know everything about the universe, to not leave a little room for a bit of mystery.
Yeah, right. Most recently, that TV show everybody was just so infatuated with, The Glory, right? They had that big part where the mom
Oh,
of
yeah.
the bully would make like life-changing decisions based on
Shamans.
shamans.
Right.
Yeah. So people, make like business like decisions that could, either make them super successful, like cripple them based on horoscopes, zodiacs.
Right. They go to shamans, they get their fortunes read. I mean, every year, every beginning of the year, you have long lines out of, famous shamans or fortune readers trying to get their fortunes read for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
I think there's so much we don't understand. I agree with exactly with what you said. There's so much we don't understand. And I don't think that they are incorrect most of the time, actually, because I think that people identify themselves as a certain way, or we identify ourselves as a certain way that we want to be perceived, or we want to perceive ourselves. But when people are using it as a reason to employ other people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's
that is carrying it far, far too far. But when it stays in the fun, casual, let's use this as an icebreaker, a social lubricant realm, this is great. I love MBTIs.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Only
Team
if it's for
ESTJ, anyone?
just getting to ESTJ.
Yeah, ESTJs. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm type O in terms of my blood type. This is why I'm so nice, because I'm type O.
Look at your face. I washed your face. It was like, this is why
I'm so nice. Yeah, guys.
Forcing it a little bit, right?
This is why I'm loved everywhere.
ESTJ, I feel like that's the complete opposite of what I am.
Are you an
INFP.
INFP.
Oh.
Folks, if you can't see Haley's face on our YouTube, she has this like look of like
derision,
disgust / disappointment
and
in her.
Everything makes sense now. Just everything makes sense. Well,
Guess what I am?
You're an E.
No,
you're not an
No, I'm an
E.
E.
It's just like you're an E.
Because I was gonna say, if you're not an E,
I don't know who is.
I want to take MBTI and just burn it. Right, throw it out the window.
Yeah, it is
and put
false.
Light it on fire.
Lori, I don't know if you're an S or an N, but I think you're an F for sure.
Nope.
No, you're not.
ENTP.
ENTP.
I have no idea what that is.
But then I go between though, and that's the thing. So sometimes, depending on how I feel, depending on what's been going on that month,
Yeah.
Right.
ENTP, ENTJ,
And
ENFP.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. We just spent far too long, our producer keeps looking at the clock, talking about our MBTIs because it's a nice conversation starter.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? Like, MBTIs have been really helpful for me in my personal relationships because as an ESTJ, I tend to think I'm always right because I am 99.9% of the time.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, duh. And this is exactly why I don't get along with some people.
Oh.
And, some family members, they frustrate me. Like, why are you not ready 15 minutes before we're supposed to leave? If you must be on the phone, why can't you be on the phone after you've taken a shower, gotten dressed? I just don't get it. I don't get it, man.
I had no idea
Why?
the whole world revolved around ESTJs.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, because you know what happens when you do that? You're always on time. So I'm like, what? But learning about my sister, my mom, my family members' MBTI, it's like, oh, you're not doing that just to spite me. Some days I think you are. But it's just how you are.
Yeah.
It helps me understand the other person. Yeah.
So it's all good when it's like, like you said, icebreakers, just kind of, starting off a conversation. What's your MBTI? Make it interesting. But then there's some people that, like
Take
here
it
in
too
the
far.
studio, just think it's just a complete lie. Like,
Right.
don't even mention it, because why would you talk about lies?
Don't even mention it.
Right?
Well, all right. So here's the camp. These personality tests and signs, they're hoaxes. They're hokum. They're lies. Because let me introduce you to the Barnum effect. So this causes people to kind of falsely believe that personality descriptions, like we talked about, are accurate because they're so general, they can apply to anyone. And you know what? If someone's going to list a bunch of nice things about you, you're probably going to nod and say yes.
See, this is the thing, confirmation bias.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
When you see somebody doing something, you believe that they're at fault because of who they are, their personality. They are this kind of person, so that's why they're doing this wrong.
Right.
So it's like if
Instead
it
of-
walks like a duck, talks like a duck, or quacks like a duck, then it must be a duck.
But you've taken that way far away from...
So
Well,
let me
that's
say
basically what
this.
you're saying.
Let me
I
say
don't
this,
know
Minsu. So
how to
Minsu,
respond to that.
you
Yeah.
are, most of the times you like people, but you also like spending some time to yourself.
That's
He loves
exactly
alone
me.
time.
Yeah. But then you can substitute Minsu for Laura, Haley, anyone. Yeah.
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 Because if you look at it, it's like very general and
Right.
Yeah.
true for, I want to say, most people.
Yeah.
I
Who
used
doesn't
to-
like time spent
yeah.
by yourself?
I used to do that. This is a horrible confession. I used to
Oh,
do that
no.
when I was younger, and I would go to clubs or bars, and I'd be like, I can read fortunes, and I would use this technique.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
On semi-tipsy people, and they'd be like, "Oh,
You're brilliant. How did you know?
Rich, right?
so really like
Burner.
you come across to other people as really kind of like friendly and
Right.
kind of outgoing, but actually you would love to be home right now, snuggled up with a cup of tea. I would.
Yeah.
Like, and people
Yeah.
are so suggestive.
And you say something that's, general enough, it applies to everyone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the confirmation bias, and that's what the Barnum effect is all about. So, and people also generally tend to prefer positive and personal ideas or statements and reject the negative. So you say enough nice things about someone and they'll believe it. But then the tarot reader that I went to 7 years ago told me that I was like a ray of sunshine and I brighten people's lives. And I think she was onto something.
I mean, you leave the booth or whatever tent for the tarot readers feeling good,
Really
right?
so modest. Her modesty comes from the tarot reader who
It
told her,
radiates
Yeah.
like the ray of
You are a
sunlight
ray
I
of
am.
sunshine.
You know what, Haley? Give me the money because I'll affirm you. All right.
All
I'll
right,
affirm you
send
that
me your
way.
keja.
All right, we have a couple people chiming in. 오겹살 조아님 saying I'm ISFJ, but people don't believe it. They think I'm an extreme E. Yeah.
Wheeler Karma name said, I am ISOB, Inside Out Busan.
Aww.
I read that different.
짱이네.
Right. Okay. So MBTIs, blood types, horoscopes, right?
Have
You
fun
name
with it. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, I think
and
that's the
just
main
read the
message.
positive signs.
맞아요. Haley, interesting. Thank you so much. That'll wrap it up for this season of Issue Unboxing.
Issues unboxed.
See you next season.
I'll see you
Haley.
next season.
in a different
Bye.
capacity.
Bye.
감사합니다.
All right, time for us to say goodbye for the first half of the show. We'll be back at 7 o'clock. This is Let It Rock by Chuck Berry. Don't go anywhere.
Brand new shoes. Try to find somebody take away these blues. She don't love me, hear 'em singing in the sun. A pity coming when my work is all done. Well, in the evening when the sun is sinking low, all day I've been waiting for the whistle to blow.
지그재그로 움직인대.
누가?
척추 라인에 맞춰서 움직인대.
누가?
누구긴 누가 엔모션 프로지. 척추를 지그재그로 틀어 꾹꾹 눌러주는 움직임. 누가의 시그니처 모션. 누가 베스트 엔모션 프로. 가까운 누가페에서 만나요. 의료기기 광고입니다.
Knock knock, who's there? It's BEFM's new spring season. On May 29th, hear your favorite BEFM programs with new updates. BEFM spring season is coming at you packed with information and entertainment. We're excited to introduce some new voices to lead our shows. Let's meet BFM's new news announcer, Annie Moon, and our new hosts, Haley Saw for News Rewind and Stephanie Yoon on School Reporters. Don't miss out on our multilingual programming. Busan Gyeongnam Region's one and only Chinese language program, Busan Hwaljim, will air Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Hello Vietnam on weekends from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Last but not least, don't miss out on our YouTube live stream to see your favorite programs up close. BEFM, your one-stop destination for fun and information.
인사하는 거 정말 힘들지 감사하단 말 정말 힘들지 먼저 시작해봐요 마음을 전해
안녕하세요, 이순재입니다. 마음을 전합시다. 매일매일이 따뜻해질 겁니다. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 인사이드 아웃 부산.
Welcome back, everyone. You thought I wasn't going to speak, didn't you? 7 o'clock.
Why are you making our producer
We're
antsy?
having a fight. We're
Anxious.
having an argument. She said I'm unprofessional. Then I said you don't know me, and she said you're professional.
Right.
And then we kind of
She says you're unprofessional,
we
and
did
as soon as the
kai-bai
mics go up, you don't talk into the mic.
I won for it, but that was I was egging her on. Welcome back, everyone. 7 o'clock. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on air and on the YouTube. You can find us. Search for BEFM or 부산영어방송. This is, of course, Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Min-Soo Shin. Welcome to the second half of our program.
Yeah.
We're going to open things up with On the Mic.
Yes, this is where our reporters head out and interview you, our citizens. So let's see who's on the mic today.
네, 안녕하세요. 올리비아입니다. 오늘은 자연스러운 배우를 만나기 위해서 제가 부곡동에 왔습니다. 안녕하세요.
반갑습니다. 저는 배우 이나인입니다. 본업은 배우고 요가 강사를 겸하고 있고 또 홈 큐레이터랑 이렇게 라디오 DJ까지 보고 있습니다.
만능 엔터테이너네요, 그냥.
그렇게 되려고 조금 더 노력을 하고 있고 제가 또 MBTI가 ENFP인데요. 특징이 정말 많은 거에 관심이 많고 그것도 도전하고 성취합니다.
요즘 한창 대세 아이브 안윤희 씨를 닮았어요. 그런 얘기 많이 들으시죠?
정말로 많이 듣고요. 제가 배우라서 공연을 계속 하는데요. 포토타임 때 관객분들이 말씀을 많이 해주시고 친구 엄마나 아버지께서도 보면은 아이브 안유진 나오면 아이니 같다. 제 네 친구 아이니 닮았다 이렇게 말씀해주세요. 기분이 좋아요.
보고 있는 저도 기분이 좋아요.
감사합니다.
근데 어떻게 배우를 하게 됐는지 궁금해요.
배우를 시작한 거는 중3 크리스마스 때 고등학교 입학을 앞두고 꿈을 정해야겠다라고 생각을 해서 조금 진지하게만 생각을 해봤어요. 살아오면서 내가 제일 뿌듯했던 게 뭐지? 흥미로웠던 게 뭐지? 이런 거 생각해보면서 이제 앞으로의 인생을 뜻깊고 의미 있게 살고 싶어서 사람의 감정을 움직이는 게 그때 당시 저한테는 제일 큰 영향력이라고 느껴졌어요. 좀 선한 영향력을 행사하면서 살아보면 진짜 보람있겠다 싶어서 배우라고 내 꿈을 정했죠.
그래서 배우 생활을 하고 있잖아요.
네.
어때요?
적성이 맞는 것 같아요. 제가 좀 밝은 편이고 유쾌한데 에너지를 좀 전달을 해드려야 되는 직업 중에 하나인데 저한테는 잘 맞는 것 같고 개인적으로 직업 만족도는 높습니다. 그리고 좋아해 주시는 것 같아요. 보시는 분들도.
근데 요가 강사는 또 어떻게 하게 되셨어요?
저희 어머니께서 추천을 해주셔서 시작을 한 건데요. 작품 비수기 때 이제 집에서 그냥 이제 명상하는 자세로 조금 쉬고 있었어요. 타이밍에 맞게 햇살이 비추면서 엄마가 아이나 너 지금 너무 잘 어울린다. 너 요가 한번 해볼래? 이렇게 말씀을 해주셨어요.
네.
저는 좀 그럴까? 이런 게 있어서 이걸 직업적으로 조금 더 연결시키면서 교육과정도 진지하게 밟고 지도자 자격증 1급도 수료하고 계속 워크숍도 들으면서 리듬 비냐샤, 아시탄가, 발레핏 이렇게 쭉쭉쭉 조금 더 스펙을 쌓아가고 있어요. 요가 강사로도.
전문 용어 나오니까 너무 멋있는데요.
감사합니다.
저희 지금 이 방송 진행하는 로라 MC도 요가를 전 하신다고 알고 있어요. 두 분 왠지 만나면 통하는 게 많을 것 같은데요.
그럴게요. 뵙고 싶어요. I wanna meet you because we are same job.
언제 가장 행복하세요?
일정을 다 마치고 집에 돌아가서 가족들이랑 웃으면서 그냥 시시콜콜한 얘기하고 그냥 누워서 그냥 다리 벅벅 긁으면서 그냥 치킨 먹으면서 이렇게 가족들이랑 웃으면서 수다를 떨 때가 제일 행복한 것 같아요. 그 순간.
그게 진짜 참 행복인 것 같아요.
그래서 저도 나중에 이제 결혼을 나중에 하게 되면은 이제 나의 하루 일과 끝에 같이 치킨 먹으면서 오늘 있었던 일 이런 걸 얘기할 수 있는 사람이면 좋겠다. 지금 제가 딱 문득 떠오르는 이상적인 남편인 것 같아요.
이렇게 사람이 에너제틱하고 밝고 가족의 영향이 큰 거겠죠?
그런 것 같아요. 저의 최대 장점이자 강점은 화목한 가정이라고 생각을 해요. 그래서 가족이 있기에 지금 제가 있는 것 같고 항상 부모님이랑 언니가 제 꿈을 응원해주고 지지해주고 이렇게 계속 할 수 있는 것 같아요.
가족 전체에게 한마디 한다면 뭐라고 얘기하고 싶어요?
좋아요. 이런 거. 엄마 아빠 언니 나 지금 오늘도 열심히 살고 있는데 내가 항상 하는 말인 사랑한다는 말과 그리고 항상 오래오래 함께 행복하게 건강하게 자주 웃으면서 이렇게 지냈으면 좋겠어. 지금처럼 항상 사랑해.
앞으로 계획이 궁금합니다.
우선 요즘 요가의 맛이 들렸어요. 조금 더 아사나를 할 수 있는 동작을 조금 더 늘리고 싶고요.
아사나가 뭔가요?
네, 동작이라는 말을 아사나라고 해요. 네. 원래는 제가 주로 공연을 했어요. 무대에 많이 섰던 배우인데 뭐 CF라든지 드라마 촬영, 뭐 영화 이런 식으로 조금씩 더 매체 연기로 넓혀가고 있어요. 그 부분에 조금 더 두각을 나타내고 싶고요. 영어를 잘 하게 돼서 해외로도 나가고 싶어요.
칸 영화제 이런 데 가셔야 되니까.
네.
그러니까 아카데미 시상식 이런 데 가셔야 되잖아요.
네.
헐리우드 진출도 하시고.
네. 하고 싶습니다.
혹시 뭐 나는 나중에 이런 연기를 해야지 이런 거 있어요?
배우 전지현님 너무 좋아하고요. 레이첼 메가덤스 그리고 NSOA 엄청 좋아합니다. 러블리하다고 생각을 해요. 되게 사랑스러운 그런 배우분들이셔가지고.
코리안 레이첼 메가담스.
Thank you. I wanna be.
마지막으로 BFM 부산 영어방송 청취자분들에게 한마디 부탁드릴게요.
제 얘기를 잘 들어주셔서 너무 감사하고 부산 영어방송 너무 잘 됐으면 좋겠어요. 배우 이나인 정말 많이 사랑해주시고 제가 꿈이 큰 만큼 더 노력을 하고 그걸 이룰 수 있는 배우가 될 테니까 나 저 배우 아는데 라고 믿겨주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 열심히 하겠습니다. 인간 깔라만시 올리비아와 자연스러운 배우 이나인의 앞으로 앞날을 축복해주세요. 화이팅! 부산 영어방송도 많이 사랑해주세요. 화이팅!
로라도 화이팅!
화이팅 로라!
민수씨도 화이팅!
민수씨 화이팅!
너무 신난다.
아이고 감사합니다.
화이팅!
저 듣고 있었는데 저도 모르게 I felt my heartbeat getting faster and
맞아요.
faster.
난 약간 스트레스 받았다. 조금.
뭐 스트레스보다
급해서.
저는 I was no way part of that conversation. 근데 저도 막 같이 신나는 것 같았어요.
So this is the kind of conversation where if I was sitting in front of them, I'd have been like this. Yeah. 네.
Well, a very energetic guest we had for today's On the Mic. Our reporter Olivia speaking with In Ain, who is a lot of things. She teaches yoga. She's a home curator. She also has her own broadcast, right? And she is a theater actress.
Yes, and you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
She's a little bit dramatic.
맞아요. 그런 끼가 있어야 돼요. 이런 거를 하려면.
Like us. You know?
I mean, I'm not a yoga instructor.
But you are dramatic.
How dare you?
How dare you? So during Christmas time, in her third year of middle school, she was thinking about her career. And she decided that she was going to become an actress.
3학년 때부터.
And the reason is that she believed that these professions can deeply touch people. And she said that she wants to, have an impact on people's emotions. So she thought that because she's very cheerful, she's very upbeat, she's very,
Yeah.
She thought that she'd be good at it.
And I guess, because she's very 띠띠리띠리, she mentioned when it's not when it's not peak season when it comes to acting, she spends a lot of time meditating, right, at home. That's how she got into yoga. She mentioned she got into it through her mom, but she also mentioned she became a certified yoga instructor. Right? Yeah. But she mentioned her happiest moment, after a long day, coming home.
Going home to her family.
Going home to her family, but more importantly, going home to a hearty serving of chicken.
맛있겠다.
그게 최고인 것 같아요. And
맛있겠다.
I agree. Of course, plus the lovely conversations she has with her family, right? She obviously has a lot of goals. She mentioned her ultimate goal, not only, of course, developing her career in acting. She wants to become a lovely, lovely actress. Like, I guess her role models, Chun Ji-yeon, Rachel McAdams, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
That's quite a list, right, of people you look up to.
I love it. It was a very uplifting interview.
네, 우리 오겹살 조아님 saying 에너지 솟네요. 진짜 완전
넘치는.
네. 넘쳤습니다.
넘쳤습니다.
네, 너무 좋았어요. 우리 인아이님, thank you so much for the interview.
고맙습니다.
Shout out to our
Thank
reporter
you.
Olivia as well.
Olivia as well. All right, if you want to be on the mic, get in touch with us. We'll come and find you. And in the meantime, this is Jamie Jones, Lose My Mind.
Oh, can I fall in love? 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 I wanna fall in love. Maybe I'll fall in love before the summer's over. Oh, can I fall in love? I wanna fall in love. Maybe I'll fall in love before the summer's over. Okay, alright, looking for a certain type to change my life and knows a way to get me high. Don't break my vibe, keep it honest, don't tell lies. Lose my mind, lose my mind, lose my mind, lose my mind. Lose my mind. Okay, alright, looking for a certain type to change my life and knows a way to get me high. Don't break my vibe, keep it honest, don't tell lies. Lose my mind, lose my mind, lose my mind, lose my mind. Okay, alright, looking for a certain type to change my life and knows a way to get me high. Don't break my vibe, keep it honest, don't tell lies. Lose my mind, lose my mind, lose my mind, lose my mind. Maybe I'll fall in, 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 maybe I'll fall in.
Oh, welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Lose My Mind by Jamie Jones here on
What's up with all
Inside
these
Out Busan.
club songs?
I love it. Our producer is feeling she's ready for the club. She's got her eyeliner on. It's all over her face. She's ready for the club.
Yeah, she got the sparkly dress on.
Yeah.
And everything, right? If you're gonna go to a club, you need a sparkly dress.
Look at those little shoes.
Right.
She's ready. Ready for the club.
Try to keep things lively, energetic here in the studio through music at least. 왜냐면 because like we talked about in the first hour, 저는 I잖아요. 저는 일할 때는 가끔씩 이 좀 이렇게 억지로 좀 나오게 만들려고 하는데 I'm an I. I can't help it. You, of course, are an E on air.
I'm E, yeah.
But you're also an I too.
I'm an I. Yeah,
맞아요.
I'm an I. Do you know what? But the thing is, I am more of like, I like to make that grumpy ajashi joke. Like, I'm like, what is this? It's so noisy. So I like to be kind of pretend I sometimes.
Uh-huh.
But actually, on the inside, I'm very deeply an I.
Yeah. It's like, and you let yourself get away with it because you say, all right, I'm gonna say it as a joke because I don't want to be mean, but like deep down I need it.
I really feel.
You know what I mean? Well, we're going to do our best to try to stay E for the next 45 minutes, listeners. You are tuned into the second half of Inside Out Busan. I'm Minsu Shin.
I'm Laura McCluckey. Welcome back.
포기했다 벌써, Laura.
Let's get to the weather, shall we? It's 20 degrees Celsius here in Busan. I sound like Steve.
Busan.
Morning lows of 15 tomorrow, afternoon highs of 22 degrees Celsius. It will be, just to swallow, sorry. It will be sunny most of the day with strong UV rays. Busan will see air quality in the normal to good category, so do take care of your health.
Yeah.
내일 한낮은 더운 날씨를 보이겠습니다. 내일은 황사가 물러가고 맑은 하늘을 볼 수 있습니다.
맞아요.
그래서 예.
저도 오늘 미세먼지 그 농도 보니까 오랜만에 저 미세먼지 앱에 까맣게 떴어요. Like the black color is supposed to be like the worst color you can have in terms of fine dust levels. But I couldn't tell when I was outside because sometimes you could tell like the dust in the air. And I was like,
dust in the air. Oh yeah,
that dust, very sneaky today. Will be a little better tomorrow. When it comes to our traffic, we have congestion on Pyeonglo from Seokdae interchange going towards Suyong Tunnel. We also have congestion on a Buam overpass from Chinyang Junction going towards the Yeonji three-way intersection. Slow-moving traffic on Nakhhae Express from former Seobusan tollgate going towards Nakdong-daegyo Bridge. 그래서 everybody
drive safe.
꼭꼭꼭.
Go.
네.
Drive safe. What are we doing now?
Well, it's Tuesday. That means we have our in-house officially recognized doctor. Certified doctor. By the way, listeners, we have to let everybody know that he's a certified doctor. He could practice here in Korea.
Legally and across the world. Internationally certified
yes,
doctor.
right? So keep that in mind while we start our segment.
닥터류의 인싸의학.
Certified doctor, globally certified doctor. It's Dr. Liu.
반갑습니다.
반갑습니다, Dr. Liu, who could prescribe medicine to people.
Who's in charge of stuff?
Yeah, right? A lot of people's healths.
예,
right?
그렇죠. And also I perform a lot of critical procedures on my
Yes, right? So,
okay.
serious stuff. We just want to let our listeners know.
Okay,
right?
맞아요.
How are you doing, Dr. Liu?
I'm doing fine. I'm just, I don't know how to control my inner kind of anxiety. I don't know. Not anxiety, actually. It's inner energy.
Inner energy.
It's tough,
I
right?
have to, yes. It's really hard to contain my power.
Don't contain it, just let it loose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Dr. Yu, well, just to give you maybe a tip, we have a couple studios here in, or a couple studios in our radio station that's soundproof. So you could go inside and you could scream and shout as loud as you want before you come into the studio. Maybe that will kind of get your energy out.
Okay.
Or flowing at least, right, before you come in.
Okay, can I hit my head on the wall?
I think so. It'll hurt a little bit. It's cushioned.
I mean, we do it all the time.
Look at my shiny forehead. Yes, I'm really.
Me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also today's. I'm gonna start off by giving you guys my 아재 개그.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's summarize because repetition is best ways to memorize things. 바비 브라운은 누룽지를 말하는 거고요. 그다음에 남자들은 소변을 앉아서 봐야 되는데 actually there's a term referring to this this guy. It's Pinkler.
Pinkler?
Yes, Pinkler.
Pinkler?
Yeah, Sitzbath is a 좌욕이라 그러거든요. Sprinkler is a German word. 이거 진짜 있더라고요.
Oh,
Yeah.
for guys
sitting,
to urinate sitting
sitting down. Yeah, it's a sprinkler. 그래서 남자들은
That's
소변
interesting.
앉아서 보는 게 정말 중요해요. It's a little bit condescending. It's a little bit how can I say derogatory term referring to guy. Is it weak or yeah, this guy is really weak? But there's a specific term. It's a sprinkler. You can look it up on the internet.
But that goes to show you just how much common, I guess,
맞아요.
it used to be if like Germans have an actual word for it.
Don't be ashamed of it because I'm so proud of me being sitting down. It's really good. It's good for your health, and you will thank me later. And also today's 아직개그, this one came across last Saturday because I was playing with my son, and then he was so demanding. So I had a time to spend with him for all day without my wife, and then suddenly I lost my concentration. So, and then he said, "아빠 나빠, 아빠 나빠,
아빠 나빠."
Yeah. So I said, "No, 나 아빠, 너 아빠 아니야, 나 아빠."
아빠 나빠.
And then
아빠 나빠.
네.
나빠.
Yes. 그래서 아무튼 아들한테 욕을 더 많이 먹었습니다.
아이고.
예.
욕 조금 먹을만 하네요. 그게.
이제 오래 살기 위해서 욕 많이 먹고 있습니다.
아이고. 네, 감사합니다.
We've got some messages coming in already. 오겹살 조아님, 원장님, hi.
안녕하세요.
And also Wheeler Karma님, nice to see you again, Dr. Liu.
Yeah, so we have fans, Dr. Liu, joining us. So, 인사의학, today, what will we be covering?
오늘은 정말 좀 중요할 수 있어요. 오늘은 자궁경부암에 대해서 하러 왔어요. Cervical cancer.
Yes.
Because according to the World Health Organization, cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer in female. But it used to be the number one. But it's going down because the prevalence of cervical cancer has been decreasing for the past couple of decades. But unfortunately, here in Korea, there actually been an increase of 8.1% among young women in their 20s and 30s over the past 9 and 10 years.
Oh, okay.
And in South Korea, we have a really fantastic medical system. You can, adult women can receive a free cervical examination on every 2 years. But the actual screening rate among women in their 20s is about only 20%. I know going to OB/GYN itself can cause a psychological distress, and it can be really stressful. I know. But I know several of my relatives, not relatives, friends of mine, they lost their wives or their friends to cervical cancer. So it's really important for you to know that. And then it's one of those few cancers that's caused by infection. Yes.
Okay. So this is quite a concern because you mentioned around the world, right? Over the past 9 years, the number has been increasing, but specifically here when it comes to like the more younger generation, which could be a good amount of our listeners, especially women in their 20s and 30s, it's been increasing. Overall might be decreasing, but for women specifically in that age group,
맞아요.
it's been on the up.
전 세계적으로는 감소하고 있는데 우리나라 젊은 사람들은 경부암이 좀 늘어나고 있어요. 그리고 전 세계적인 추이를 봤을 때에 개발 국가 좀 약간 좀 못 사는 나라 같은 경우에는 자궁경부암 환자가 늘어나는 반면에 잘 사는 나라. I think our country is pretty well developed country. But here we have a few. 그렇지만 우리나라는 잘 살지만 이 경부암이 젊은 층에서 증가하고 있다는 게 조금 논란만하고 이것에 대해서는 조금 여러분들한테 알려드려야 될 필요성이 있을 것 같다 그래서 가지고 왔습니다.
네. So let's get into details today covering cervical cancer, 자궁경부암. What exactly is it then?
이거는 cervical cancer is a cancer of the cervix. Cervix is the bottom part of our uterus. uterus가 이제 자궁을 말하는데 자궁 밑에를 말하는 거거든요. And that connects to the birth canal. It becomes abnormal. It's a cancer. I think I told about what cancer is because cancer cells there are very villain-like. They're merciless. Their growth every direction. Let's say that, for instance, our fingernail is supposed to grow forward.
Yeah.
But when it turns into cancer cell, it goes backwards, upwards, downwards, and sideways. And it destroys nearby or adjacent structures.
Yeah.
So it kills our body in the end.
Yeah, I think it was really recent that somebody showed me a picture of, this is, like a patient from long time ago, somebody that had like some form of bone cancer, was it? And the bone would just start growing like these spike-like things out of like the skull. Eventually that person, because it was so excruciatingly painful, the person ended up passing away. But that, it just painted a picture, like it gave me like a little picture of how cancer like moves and grows in the body. It's really scary.
That's really scary. But one thing for sure is that this cancer can be cured. When it's detected earlier, it can be prevented because it's caused by an infection. Infection.
So when I was 18, this is my experience. In Scotland, we have to have, you get a note through, as a young woman, you have to go for this kind of exam, pap smear, and they check you out, and there was some sort of abnormal cells for me. So I went to the specialist, and they said there was precancerous cells, and I had to go through something called colposcopy treatment. And then after that, because I had like these abnormal cells, you have to get a checkup and check up and check up until you're a bit older, and then they check you up less frequently, provided nothing's gone wrong. And thankfully, they detected it very early, and there was nothing. It was precancerous, but they still said, we're going to do this treatment. Back then, there was no HPV virus inoculation. Like, that was 20 years ago. Yeah, vaccine. So it was just because my mum said, you need to go and get checked. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go and get checked. Why is this on the rise? Because it's so, like in Korea, they even give, I think it's a very cheap or almost free vaccination.
That's right, because here in Korea, a lot of younger generations are very reluctant to go to OB-GYN. And I think there is a social stigma might be related to this, but don't be ashamed of your situations, your health, because everybody carries their poops in their guts. So 정말 모든 사람들이 다 사는 게 다 똑같거든요. 그렇기 때문에 너무 부끄러워할 필요 전혀 없고요. 여러분들 이거는 정말 운이 안 좋게 됐을 때 걸릴 수 있는 거기 때문에 항상 주의를 해야 됩니다. 그러면 what causes it is, I told you, is caused by an infection, especially called the virus, human papilloma virus, HPV 이거를 얘기하는데, everybody on Earth, about statistics are saying that about 80 to 90% of all the population on Earth have been exposed to this kind of virus. But when you contract this virus, that doesn't mean that you are likely to get cancer. For guys, we have cancer in our bottom part or anal parts or some of the parts of our body. But for women, it can cause cervical cancer. But the important thing is that a specific type of this HPV, human papilloma virus, can responsible for causing cancer, especially type 16 and type 18. 이 type 16이랑 18이 이게 정말 경부암을 일으키는데 아주 중요한데요. 놀라운 사실이 있어요. 우리나라는 이게 젊었을 때는 이 백신이 공짜예요.
Oh, okay.
네, 물론 최근에 recently there are specific vaccine that are covering all many more than 10 types of HPV virus against HPV virus, but type 16 and 18 is responsible for about more than 60 or 70% of cervical cancer. But 이 두 가지를 이가 백신은 이제 보건소에서 접종을 해줍니다. 물론 연령이 제한이 있는데요. 그거는 만 이제 12세 미만, 그 다음에 이제 청소년들 중에서 기초생활수급자나 어려운 사람들은 할 수가 있어요.
How much of the risk is decreased if you do get vaccinated?
이런 게 되면 거의 90% 가까이는 정말 한다는 거고, 그다음에 가르다실이라고 하는 새로운 백신은 이게 여러 가지를 다 커버하게 되는데 이런 경우는 거의 아주 90%, 99% almost can be preventable 일 수가 있죠. 하지만 항상 새로운 게 또 생길 수가 있고 또 여러 가지 원인이 리스크 팩터가 있거든요. 그래서 pap smear, like Dr. Laura mentioned, is really important, and the colposcopy is like an endoscopy of for female reproductive system. It can help us to have doctors to identify whether you have it or not. 그래서 이런 타입을 알았으면 좋겠고요. 그럼 리스크 팩터가 어떤 거냐면은 first of all, it's an infection through sexually transmitted, and also other types of method can be transmit this kind of virus. So we have to be vigilant. If you have never experienced any kind of sexual intercourse or some other transmission method, you might have a chance because of skin-to-skin contact. And also, if you your partner carries some virus, or you carry it, you can spread it to somebody else. And smoking, because smoking it decreases our immune system. 이 HPV virus, when it comes into our body, 90% 이상은 우리가 we can cure it. We can get it. We can wait it out, and we can cure it out by on our own human immune system. 하지만 when you smoke and our immune system gets weaker over time, and when you get exposed to this virus repetitively, you might end up having cervical cancer. And also vitamin deficiency is really important, and also family history, some genetic predisposition. Predisposition means some genes might be like for you to be prone to catch this virus. 그래서 여러 가지 위험 인자에 대해서 얘기했습니다. 약간 갈수록 이제 사회가 이제 사람들이 이제 코로나 바이러스도 이제 사람들이 많이 이제 섞이다 보니까 바이러스가 생겼다는 것처럼 마찬가지로 이것도 사람들이 스킨 투 스킨 컨택이거든요. 네. 이게 not only sexual contact, other kind of contact might can cause spread this kind of virus. 그렇기 때문에 항상 personal hygiene 하는 게 가장 중요한 것 같고, 그 다음에 proper way of intercourse is really important, and also keep your body on tip-top shape, like plenty of nutrients, and then sleep well. I always say, sleep well, poop well, and eat well.
Yeah.
이런 거 가장
We actually shared that lesson with our listeners in the first.
We quoted you earlier.
예, 그래요. 맞아요. 그게 정말 중요해요.
I feel like we have to can we have like a banner in like the back? 잘 먹고 잘 자고 잘 싸고. 네. Can we have that in the background?
근데 환자분들 보면 정말 잘 못 자는 사람도 많고요. 네. 잘 못 사는 사람들 많아요. 근데 정말 제가 앉아서 오늘도 오기 전에 화장실에서 앉아서 소변을 봤는데 그때 그 감사함은 정말 이루 말할 수가 없어요. When I was working in ER, I get to see lots of various kind of patients. I can easily, often I used to see patients with really, really big belly. Oh, I couldn't pee, please. It's like labor birth. So I insert some Nelaton. Nelaton is an artificial tube that's kind of a saving 이런 거 straw 해가지고 이제 빼주는데 그럴 때 이제 환자분들이 너무나 기뻐하시거든요. 정말 우리가 소변을 잘 볼 수 있고 대변을 잘 볼 수 있다는 거 그건 정말 건강한 겁니다. 예. cervical cancer는 또 이게 증상이 별로 없어요.
That's
무서워요.
worrisome.
예, 그래요. 그래서 항상 미리미리 스크리닝을 해야 돼요. 스크리닝은 이제 선별을 해야 되는 건데 여러분 모든 암이 다 선별될 것 같죠? 그렇지 않습니다. 우리가 early detection 할 수 있는 암이 몇 가지가 있어요. 우리나라는 위암, 내시경 봤죠? 또 colon cancer, colonoscopy 해가지고 대장 내시경 해가지고 대장암 발견하고 저도 작년 8월 달에 용종 2개 제거했거든요. 그런 것들은 다 이제 early detection 할 수 있고 요 cervical cancer도 early detection 할 수 있어요. 하지만 there are a few cancers we cannot detect early on its early stage, which includes pancreatic cancer. pancreatic cancer는 증상이 나타나면 끝난 거고 일찍 찾는 건 정말 하늘이 도와준 거고요. And lung cancer is also 이런 것들. 하지만 우리가 선별하고 빨리 프리벤션 할 수 있는 걸 갖다가 방치한다. 이런 거는 정말 나중에 후회할 수가 있는 거죠.
Yeah.
It could have been prevented. It could have been cured.
Yeah, like I mean, we kept talking about it. Like the two easiest things you can do when it comes to reducing the risk of cervical cancer. You mentioned vaccine and screening, right?
맞아요.
I feel like that's like the only two kind of you can do.
I understand why young women don't want to go to the
yeah,
gynecologist.
of course.
Because I also don't want to go to the gynecologist, and I didn't want to way back in the day. But it's kind of, I'm not sure if it was mandatory, but I just thought it was, my mom said, go and do it, and I did it because I thought I need to be healthy. And thank goodness, I mean, there was nothing there, but there was something that they were like, oh, we need to double check this. And if it had been, something bad, then it would have, and I hadn't got it checked out, then what could have happened, And so it's not like there's no excuse. I don't mean like there's no excuse for it, but there's no reason to neglect your health.
Yeah.
It is uncomfortable.
맞아요.
It really is, but it's one of those things that it's, the discomfort is much easier than the potential discomfort of having a cancer diagnosis later.
Oh yeah. Our listeners very much agree too. We have Hisu님 saying Dr. Liu is really doctor. And also
진짜
saying
맞아요.
건강이 최고입니다. 맞아요. Right? I feel like that's such a underrated statement. 건강이 최고입니다.
맞아요.
Like to me, like the older I get, I feel like 건강이 최고보다 건강이 전부인 것 같아요.
Oh, that's right.
Because without health, you literally can't do anything. Some people
맞아요.
say 가족이 전부다. Well, like your husband, wife, your kids are your everything, but how are you going to take care of your everything when you don't have your health first and foremost, right? 그래서
Recently, I started writing my own blog, and then the topic of my blog is 나이가 든다는 것은.
Do you start your blog with an 아재 개그 every time too?
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I was just curious.
하지만 if I do that, I'm not gonna allow the viewers to leave a comment on my blog on that. anyhow, 근데 나이가 든다는 건 제가 얼마 전에 쓴 게 있어요. 나이가 든다는 건 everybody is dying, right? In the long run. 하지만 제가 하도 아픈 사람들을 많이 보니까 나는 어떤 병으로 죽게 될까라는 걸 생각하는 게 나이가 든다는 것 같아요. 젊은 사람들, when I was 20, I thought, early 30, I drank until I passed away.
You passed out.
I passed out. Yeah,
Okay,
I passed away. Yeah. Someday I will pass away, but I pass out. Yeah, pass out 조심해야 돼. Pass out. 정신이 약간 좀 나가는 거죠. 그런데 약간 좀 아쉬울 때가 있어요. If I didn't do that, I would have been much better off than this kind of health. And because I'm on several kinds of medicine, because I'm over 40, we can define our aging process. But if you put some efforts on your health, well, you would have been able to live a very happy, healthier life in your late 40s, 50s, and 30s, 80s, 60s, 60s, or 70s, even 80s. 그렇기 때문에 젊었을 때 건강 관리 잘하시고 여러분 행복한 노후를 맞이하시고 그 다음에 나중에 행복하게 well dying 하는 거. that's my 정말 저의 삶의 목표고 하나님한테 잘 살았습니다라는 고백을 하는 게 that's my life purpose. Until I breathe, I'm gonna spread good news and also I'm gonna help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Yes. Stay healthy. And don't forget to poop well and sleep well and then pee well and eat well.
Nice.
You help us every week, Dr. Liu.
Yeah.
It's always like good medical fact and advice, as well as kind of this. I don't know, what is it's like an emotional hug as well.
Yeah.
You know.
And I feel like that's
like
something
moral
it's really
support.
hard to come by when it comes to, like medicine in general. Because you go and people, like the reason why, like you mentioned, a lot of people don't end up getting checkups that they need is because when they think hospitals and doctors, they think all this hard, difficult jargon, and it's always going to be bad news or it's going to be a bad experience. But seeing this side of a medical professional, right, being able to kind of put our minds at ease. I think that's also something doctors are very much able to do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But Dr. Yu, I think you're one in a million because I've never met a doctor like you that is so candid, down to earth, also ridiculous in a good way. And just, it's, yeah, so if anyone needs to go to a doctor, Dr.
Because
Yu is here.
The reason is that I've been through many surgeries and I've done a lot of medicines. So when I'm in a hospital, I'm a doctor, but when I'm at home, I'm a patient.
Yeah. 맞아요.
You know, I don't know if we asked you this question. Who takes care of doctors, Dr. Lee? Who takes care of you?
I give a call to a lot of my friends and psychiatrists and then general surgeon, medical doctors, and I take advantage of my situation. So 전화해서 다 물어봐요. And now I'm over 40, over 50. So my 후배 is working at a university hospital. So sometimes I take advantage of this situation. Hey 교수님, 김 교수, 여 교수, 저기 어떻게 해야 돼?
아, 우리 선배 왔다, 우리 선배. 선배님, 네.
네, 맞아요.
Dr. Liu, thank you so much. We'll be seeing more of you in the next season, right?
Next season, yes. 저는 이제 살아남았어요. I survived because I am 가재.
You're a 가재.
You made it through the fire.
예, 가재는 개편이기 때문에.
All right, we'll look forward to more of you and your 인사의학 next season, next week. Dr. Yu, thank you so much for today.
네, 감사합니다.
수고했습니다.
All right, let's have a song. This is Dust in the Wind by Kansas.
I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
안녕하세요. 차가운 도시 남자 Inside Out Busan Rider Steve라고 합니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan's listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in Geojedong and Yeonsan-dong, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권을 받을 수 있습니다. A place to entertain your brain and eyes, Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee, whole beans, sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery 원두 커피. 커피 향 좋다. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. Admission tickets for the Busan Next to Sky top floor observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 넥스트 스카이 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 저랑 같이 가실까요?
It's time for 호기심 천국.
호기심 천국 시간입니다.
Yeah.
Filling your curiosities. Actually, though, it's our curiosities.
Yeah.
But we kind of force it upon you.
We make
and
you
make it your
listen.
curiosities.
Yes. Yes.
Well, so I had a family member come in, visit, not too long ago. And they always want to go to the 편의점, convenience stores here in Korea because they're so amazed, right? You know how like we here in Korea, when we go to convenience stores in Japan, we're so amazed?
Yeah.
People from the US, they come here to Korea and they're so amazed by the convenience stores.
Yeah.
But they pointed out something that I went, you know what, you're right. Why are most beer bottles, now I'm not saying like single serving beer bottles, like the huge jugs, right? Like 2 liter 짜리. Why are they in plastic bottles and not glass bottles? Because back in the US, you would never see beer in plastic. Yeah. Well, let's first listen to today's clip.
Well, perhaps the answer that's most pertinent to us as customers is that putting beer into plastic bottles can affect how it tastes. Plastic is a great deal more porous than glass, which itself is almost impermeable to oxygen and carbon dioxide. In lay terms, this means your beer or your soft drink will go flat sooner in a plastic bottle than it would in a glass one because the carbon dioxide that makes it fizzy in the first place can more easily escape. The other benefit of glass is that it's almost completely taste neutral, which basically means that it doesn't chemically interact with whatever you store inside of it. To quote the totally unbiased Glass is Life, when you eat or drink something from glass, you're experiencing the pure taste of that food or drink, nothing more, nothing less. Plastic, on the other hand, is chock full of chemicals that could potentially leach into your drink and ruin your beer and possibly more. For example, the plastic used to store soft drinks and indeed some beer, polyethylene terephthalate, often shortened to PET, leaches a toxic metalloid known as antimony, among other things, into your drink. When stored at room temperature or less, the amount of antimony that leaches is generally deemed safe, but as temperatures increase, so does the antimony levels in your drink. When stored in an uninsulated garage for a few months in the summer or other warm areas, the levels can exceed the recommended limits set by the Environmental Protection Agency. So in regards to aluminium cans, like glass, aluminium is relatively impermeable, making it an ideal storage container for beer. Interestingly, the inside of an aluminium can is coated with a special polymer specifically to reduce the risk of aluminium leaching into the beverage, which makes things far safer. Among other things, elevated aluminium levels in the body have been linked to diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Well, there you go.
You kind of lost me halfway through.
Well, I'll explain it to you like you're 5.
Okay, good.
Right? So that is from the YouTube channel. Today I found out, right? So he very, very in detail explained why you don't see beer in plastic packaging. You see it all the time here in Korea, and I'll get to that why also. But in the U.S., this is something that you usually don't see, even if it's like a 40 ounce. I don't know what that is in liters. 40 ounce, they're pretty big. They're not 2 liters, but they're pretty big bottles, but they're always in glass. Okay? And the reason why is because plastic, as the clip mentioned, is porous. So what porous means, it's basically having maybe even like sizes of, I don't want to say molecules because that's too small, but big enough so that air and liquid can pass through it. So plastic, it won't let liquid get out, but it will let air come in. So that's why when it comes to packaging, beer in plastic, it'll go stale or 김 빠졌다, as we say here in Korea, faster than it would if it's packaged in glass. So that's one reason why people in the U.S., because taste is very important, right? In the long run, that's why they opt for glass. They also mentioned, he also mentioned in the clip, is because plastic has chemicals that if stored improperly, the chemicals seeps into the beer. Yeah. Right? And that is not good for the taste, but also not good for your health in general.
Yeah, that's why I don't. So any time I have a bottle of water and I put it in my car, if it stays in my car for the full day, I'll take it out and I'll just throw it away, or I'll use it to put in my cooler. Because you can't drink bottled water if it's been sitting in your car for any length of time, because the car is warm, right? So bottled water is going to be cold. Otherwise, don't let it sit for a long time.
Yeah. So putting beer into plastic bottles is actually something that, might not be too familiar to people, especially in the U.S. But actually, other countries around the world have started doing it more often, right? The Philippines, a beer company in the Philippines, launched their 1-liter PET bottles, right? Along with their glass bottles and aluminum cans. I don't know the exact reason, but in your hometown of Glasgow, okay, back in 2004, they started selling plastic beer bottles. Do you know why?
Because people were too violent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fights would break out at clubs, at bars, and at soccer matches.
Yep.
Right?
Not surprising.
So, because they saw the damage that... Because they saw the damage that glass bottles, it's basically the beer company saw, if we give people their beer in glass bottles, we're basically handing them like a club/weapon that they could have a big risk of getting into, because I'm not trying to stereotype or anything, but the number of fights that happened, in, let's say, the UK, especially cities where soccer is very big, there, more often than not, fights would break out in bars and at stadiums. So for the safety of UK citizens, places like Glasgow and other cities in the UK, they opted to put beer in plastic bottles. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Not surprised at all. And so we often had a lot of people, depending on the night, because I used to work in bars and restaurants when I was in university. And I pretty much worked full time. So depending on which kind of bar it was, what kind of night it was, if it was an event, if it was a wedding, etc., we would make the decision to either sell the beer that was in bottles, as in glass bottles, or we would sell the beer that was in plastic bottles. And so sometimes we wouldn't give people glasses. Sometimes we'd give them plastic cups.
And that's why, at sporting stadiums and sporting events in the U.S., I think that's the reason why they started giving alcoholic beverages in plastic cups. Yeah. Right? Because if you hand somebody, let's say even like a plastic bottle, right? If they have enough alcohol in them, beer in them, right? You never know who they're going to chuck that at. Yeah. Who that's going to hurt.
And isn't that so sad? Isn't that really sad? And I remember, we would gauge the evening, and there would be times throughout the evening we would say, okay, we're no longer serving in glass. We're no longer serving anyone in glass. And I used to work in one club, and it was, and I used to go to this club before I worked there, and they would serve everything in bottles, plastic bottles, no glasses, no nothing. They just took all of the kind of mixers off of their menu for a while, and then they started serving everything in plastic cups because it was too dangerous.
Yeah. This is something that I honestly would never think about when I visit bars in, let's say, the U.S., right? Of course, fights break out in bars in the U.S. too, but they don't factor in the risk that glass bottles can, that risk it could give to patrons of that bar if a fight were to break out. So I guess in the UK, in Glasgow, in your hometown, they do consider violent, incidents and how glass bottles, how that could affect that, right?
But it's not in all the places. There's a lot of places that I worked that were all glass, and there was never fights. Like,
oh yeah.
Never ever any fights.
It's basically it's up to the bar owner and how they want to run their business, right?
It's a specific type of establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, really quick to wrap up. Then, does that mean then here in Korea, are we sacrificing taste just for safety / efficiency, right, of glass bottles? Because actually, when it comes to carbon footprints, glass is way much more considered, compared next to plastic. But because of technology these days, right, they've made plastic also very efficient and effective so that it's not as porous as it used to be back then. So you get the same taste as you would, if you were to get in a glass bottle in plastic bottles these days. So no worries on the taste front, folks.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Be happy.
Well, thank you for hogging that shim. That was good.
Shimmed to the max.
Shins to the max. We've got some messages coming in. 저는 ESTJ요. 파워 J라 피곤하다는 말 많이 듣습니다.
그냥 J 아니고 파워 J입니다. 어이구.
그래도 전 J인 제가 좋아요.
네.
인사이드 아웃 화이팅입니다. 로디 민디 짱.
감사합니다.
고맙습니다.
네. 우리 3110님, thank you for your message. And congratulations, you are a gift receiver of the day. 축하드립니다. And a big thank you to all of our listeners that chimed in, were part of our conversations. We couldn't have done this without you.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, the final song today, by the Crash Test Dummies.
Is that the title?
That
really?
is the title. Today's show was produced by Cho Yoon-jin, written by Im Soo-jin, hosted by Laura McCluskey.
And hosted by Min Soo-shin, folks. Have a good one.
He said that it was from when the cousin smashed his so hard. Once there was this girl who wouldn't go and change with the girls in the change room, and when they finally made her, they saw birthmarks on